Today we're going to be installing crash guards and an engine bash plate from SRC Moto on a 2024 Honda Transalp. And I'll tell you why you're going to be really glad you did. Welcome back everybody to the Grand Shamrock Tour. So today we're going to install engine guards and a bash plate on a 2024 Honda Transalp. And as many of you know, the love of my life is standing behind the camera right now. But the new love of my life? She's sitting right here. And this Honda Transalp needs some protection. And I hope I can show you the value in what we've done by selecting SRC Moto and their crash guards and bash plate for this bike. First of all, we're not sponsored by SRC Moto in any way. We buy the products. In fact, this is the third set of crash guards that I've bought from them, but there's a reason I keep coming back. They make an incredibly good product at a great price. And it's a small business here in Oregon, and we want to support them. So we've got upper and lower engine guards, we got a bash plate, and we just got to get started. I've got everything we need right here, but I am going to request three things from you. Number one, I'd like you to watch this video all the way to the very end. And the reason being is, once you see how we do it, you can anticipate what you need, where you need to position yourself, and all that. Number two, don't tighten anything until it's all done. The reason being is there's going to be a lot of loose fitting and everything's going to have to kind of come together before you tighten it. And number three, take your time. This is not a twisty mountain road. There's no reason to be in a hurry. This isn't going to take that long, and I guarantee you at the end, you'll be really satisfied with the product, the end result. So enjoy the process. So, in order to do this project, it's pretty simple. I really like the Nico Allen head, metric Allen head socket set. This thing gets used all the time on, whether it's the BMW or the Honda. They just have every single size you need, and it just makes it simple. I also have the ball end Allen head wrenches. The ball ends because sometimes you need to just get that right angle. Works great. A 10, 12, and a 14 are the only nut sizes I saw that I'm going to need in advance. I have this really cool tool for removing the pins from the Honda. We have to take that the cowling off, and so this has been something that's really good because it doesn't mar up the plastic, and I really don't want my plastic marred up. I have two different torque wrenches. I have a micro torque, which does everything in Newton meters, but I do have two bolts that I know are going to be larger, and so I brought out the old handy dandy Craftsman, which is going to get me the correct torque measure I need. Now it all starts with everything Transalp. We're going to take these cowling covers off so we can get our access points to put our new mounting plates on. And I have a video where we've done all this in the past. Carolyn could put a link to that. And in the meantime, I'm going to get started pulling them off right now. All right, we removed one side. You've got the three bolts right here. Push down in the center. That releases. One here releases. And then this is that tool I said that we have Amazon, we've got from Amazon. Look at that. It just takes it off. Now that's a perfect fit. Nothing gets bent, nothing gets marred. That's pretty awesome. All right. Okay, we're on the right side of the bike, and what you want to do next, and this is something that a couple of the videos that are out on the internet, they're bending this clutch cable, and you don't need to do that. Really, the 12 and the 14, go ahead and loosen the clutch cable right here, and that allows you to take and loosen this a little bit. You can check the free play on the clutch. It's usually about a 1/4 of an inch free play. Now, check this out. All we need to do at this point now is we can pivot that clutch in. You don't bend anything this way. And get a little tighten. What we're doing is we're making sure we've got clearance for that plate right there, and we did. Once you've got it, like I said, 12 and a 14. Now she stays right there. So this is the top mount, and all we do is we remove those 2 bolts, and it fits outside the framework that's there. And you can see I've put the bolts all the way through and kind of tightened them, but they're not tightened down because I still need to have that ability to move that just in case. And the access point to tighten it will be easy. Now we come over to the right hand side of the bike, and what we're going to do is we remove the 2 bolts here that they're 14 millimeter. We've removed those, put these through, but to make our lives super easy on this one, we're going to put our Loctite on, put the bolt through, and then use the flanged nut that's provided. Always use blue in this circumstance. And again, we're not tightening anything out. The thread locking compound will remain malleable. Okay, in the beginning I told you make sure you watch this video all the way through because we want to keep everything loose, and that is accurate. We want to keep everything loose except at this location and on the other side, because the engine is a stressed member. We put that bracket in. We will not have access to get the appropriate torque on that bolt once the cowling is back in place. There was enough movement. I test fit the crash bar on this plate before I will put this back up, but we want to make sure we get the accurate torque on those 4 bolts left and right for the mounting plate, because this is part of how the engine is held. And so the engine is a stress member to this frame. We want to make sure we got that right, and once we seal this up again, we're not going to be able to get that accurate torque spec. So we've done that. We're going to go ahead and put the cowling back on because we will have access to that plate for the actual crash bar once the cowling is on. So I'm going to get on that right now. To put these pins back in, you simply relieve that pressure, you pull the pin back out, and you'll get that little knob comes out this way. They go into position like that, and then make sure we got everything we want. Yep. And then that sets them. Okay, everything's loosely fitted, like I said. That's just to make sure everything's going to line up, and it does. The fit's just been perfect. Right now, I'm just going to get it tight. That's great. I'm going to jump on those lowers, put that bash plate on. And that's the biggest, most important part of this for saving, for, I guess, insurance on your bike. That very vulnerable oil sump that everybody talks about, that's going to get some much needed protection now. SRC's design, it incorporates the factory, I'm sure the factory bash plate is mounted to this right here in some way, shape, or form. And since our bash plate is going to be mounted to the lower crash bars, we're going to use that to mount the lower crash bar. And so the pin pipe right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set one side so I can slide it into there. Pin pipe in. Look at that. Went right in. You can see that that's why we don't tighten until the very end. All right, Transalp Nation. This is what it was all about. All of this, I mean, we can ride these things with a scratch on our Transalp or our red wing. We break that oil sump, rock goes into our oil filter, or we end up with smashed exhaust, we're sitting on the end of a trail. This is it. This is the pièce de résistance. This is our bash plate. But the best reason, that bash plate will protect this exhaust system, that oil filter, and that very vulnerable oil sump. Oh, that's perfect. And that's it. Once I got this loosely fitted, I tightened everything up and checked the torque. Our Transalp is now ready for some extreme off-road or even the more dangerous Walmart parking lots. So we've protected her from top to bottom. We've created a playlist. Carolyn has done a great job of everything that we consider essential for the Honda Transalp that we've added to it. And if you've got your bike apart, you might as well be doing it all because it's there. It's really great. She's got the playlist. We've got the items. It starts right up top here with the Veridian Cruise, because that to me is one of the greatest things. And it's got a 12% Shamrock discount. If you put Shamrock on your order, they'll give you 12% off. All the way down to SRC Moto. Those guys are a small business in Oregon. We don't get anything as far as a code for you, a discount, but would you please tell them that the Grand Shamrock Tour sent you? They need to know that this kind of stuff makes a difference, and it does for us. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for following along through this Transalp build. And if you don't mind, please hit like and subscribe, because that helps us. It gets more people to engage with us, and we really appreciate that. Leave a comment below, anything like that. And I will tell you, I love the way it looks. I can't wait to see how she rides. So on that note, travel safe, and we'll see you out on the road.